What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with some breaking news regarding the Division 2. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But all of this information and more is on my Twitter page, X if you nasty. So follow me over here at Kamikazevondoom for anything Division related before I make a YouTube video. And this is hot off the presses, people. This came out 3 minutes ago, all right? And we have the new patch notes. So this is from the developers, and it says, Agents, are you ready? Year 6 Season 3 arrives tomorrow, February 25th, bringing new action, new rewards, and new dangers. Maintenance is scheduled tomorrow and will last approximately 3.5 hours from 03 a.m. to 06:30. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, that is Eastern time. I didn't mean to say a.m. I was supposed to say ET. My bad. My bad. So 03 to 06:30 Eastern. There you go. Now, it has a full briefing, and then I'm sure patch notes are out as well. So let's see what the... Oh, bad gateway. Uh-oh. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Uh-oh. Sometimes they mess these up. Uh-oh. Let's try to refresh it. Maybe they fixed it. And it's looking like no dice. It's thinking. It's thinking. There we go. Hey, it's up. All right. It's up. It's up. Yeah, sure. You can have the cookies. I don't care. All right. Here we go. Year 6, Season 3, Burden of Truth. And here's the picture with Kelso, and it is all about Kelso. Now, agents are now tasked to track down Kelso's whereabouts in D.C., to locate her and bring her in. She is leaving a trail for us to follow, paved with intel and reveals about Lau's recruitment and the Cassandra mission. We also know Schaefer is the key, but the key to what? Sip on some Kerman coffee, get comfortable, and let's break down everything in Year 6, Season 3. We will be talking about modifiers, including global modifier, active modifiers, passive modifiers, and the hostile countermeasures, aka hostile modifier. We will be talking about the expanded stash space, the new gear, weapons, and talents, the new reworks and updates, quality of life changes, the new season pass, and a new one-time offer. First up, we have the new seasonal modifiers. So the global modifier will be called Rogue Momentum. The hostile modifier will be called Frenzy. And then, of course, we will have active and passive modifiers. So first up, we have the new global modifier. Now, this is called Rogue Momentum. Now, Rogue Momentum is all about skill, bending the rules, and using dirty tactics to dominate in high-risk, high-reward combat. The more enemies you eliminate, the more momentum you build, but keeping it is just as crucial as gaining it. Momentum builds through combat actions with different kills granting different amounts. Standard enemies will give you a small boost, while headshots, skill-based eliminations, multi-kills, and explosive takedowns will provide even bigger gains. Now, elite targets will offer even greater momentum, making them high-priority targets. As you take down enemies, your momentum meter will fill, pushing you through different tiers, each unlocking powerful combat bonuses. Now, here are the different tiers and bonuses for momentum, and this is your global modifier. This will always be active unless you decide to turn it off. So it says here that higher tiers will mean faster movement, better reload speed, increased weapon and skill damage, and even faster rate of fire. At the top tier, you will gain skill overcharge, letting you use abilities more often. Now, yes, that is for all players. If you have a maxed out global modifier, meaning your rogue momentum is maxed out, you will be getting skill overcharge, even if your skills are tier 0. You will still get maxed out overcharge skills with your max momentum. Pretty cool, right? Now it says here that the momentum doesn't stack. You will only benefit from whatever tier you are currently at. So tier 1, you only get weapon and skill damage. Tier 2, you then get some movement speed and reload speed. Tier 3, you also get some rate of fire. And then tier 5, I guess, unstoppable would be maxed out, would then give you everything plus skill overcharge. Now look at this. That's 20% weapon damage and skill damage, 20% movement speed the entire time. That's the equivalent of Lady Death forever. Everyone loves the Lady Death movement speed. Just imagine you had that forever. And you can do that by keeping your momentum at max. And you can do that with skills. You can do that with anything. Pretty cool. 20% reload speed and 25% rate of fire. Just imagine having that with Striker or Umbra, or if you're nasty, both. Pretty cool. And then, of course, you would get overcharged skills on top of that. Now, the momentum decay. This is where you lose your tiers and your stacks or whatever. So it says here, momentum slowly fades over time, both in and out of combat. Taking damage will also slow down how quickly you earn more momentum. To slow down the decay, just stay active. Sprinting for at least 2 seconds will slow down your decay, and using a pulse will stop it entirely. So if you have a nice pulse, you could just keep pulsing and keeping your momentum active. Very cool. Next up, we have blacklisted enemies. Now, these are the special enemies with the new blacklisted indicator over their head. And these blacklisted enemies will give you more momentum. So it says here, keep an eye out for blacklisted enemies. They will be randomly marked with a slashed icon. Taking them down will give you a huge momentum buff. So what is huge? It is a 30% buff, where the standard enemies will only give you 7%, and the elite blacklisted enemies will give you 10. As a bonus, eliminating a blacklisted enemy will grant you Energized. This is a 15-second buff that increases your weapon handling and crit chance. Come on. Like, this is going to be one of the best seasons we have ever played in the Division 2. Because not only this, but taking out the blacklisted enemies will give you more momentum. That gives you weapon damage, reload speed, rate of fire, all of those things. And then you also get Energized, giving you more weapon handling and crit chance. Crazy. And then it says, but be careful. If you don't take them out quickly, they can drain your momentum fast. So make them your top priority and eliminate them as soon as possible. Next up, we have active modifiers. The active modifiers will enhance the aggressive playstyle and high-stakes theme, where performing will grant powerful bonuses, while failure might lead to reduction in your armor and health. Now, what does this mean? All right, so active modifiers. This is the one where you can only put one of them on at a time. So you will either have Overdrive, Vendetta, or Tactical Supremacy. Now, from the PTS, I can already tell you that Overdrive and Tactical Supremacy are amazing. However, Vendetta, not so much. So let's talk about it. The first active modifier will be Overdrive. This will instantly max out your momentum. This will grant you powerful combat bonuses for a limited time. However, after it wears off, your gaining rate for momentum is down 70% for 150 seconds. That's a lot. That is a lot. However, it maxes it out at 100 immediately. So if you're doing like a boss encounter or anything like that, hit that overdrive, take full advantage of it, and then you don't have to worry about the drawbacks. Next up, we have Vendetta. So activating Vendetta will mark several enemies. Now, killing these enemies that are marked, you have to use either a primary weapon, secondary weapon, skill, or pistol. It depends on which one it is. So each character will have a different color representing a different type of damage or a different way that you have to take them out. This one's not fun. For me personally, it changes the colors of the enemies and then it tells you you have to use something against them. I am not a fan of that. I would rather have the choice of doing whatever I want, whether it be a skill build, damage build, tank build, what have you. I don't want to have to be forced to use like a pistol or something. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm going to highly recommend you stay away from Vendetta, because Vendetta is trying to make you play a certain way, and I would rather have the freedom to do whatever I want. And then finally, for the active modifiers, we have Tactical Supremacy. So this will double the effects of your passive modifiers. Double. This one is huge. Okay? Tactical Supremacy is huge. It doubles all of these bonuses. All of these bonuses doubled. So for example, right here, Seeker Mind deals 100% more damage. That will be 200% more damage against Blacklisted. Performing a crit hit will restore 5% of your armor. This will turn into 10% of your armor. So this Tactical Supremacy, super, super fun and really powerful. So just to explain it, it says that it will double the effects of all equipped passive modifiers for a limited time. While active, the momentum gain from passive modifiers will be frozen, but it also prevents blacklisted enemies from draining your momentum. So it has two big positives. You get to enjoy all of your passive modifiers, twice over because it gets doubled. And then you don't have to worry about blacklisted or any sort of enemies messing with your momentum. Pretty cool. And next up for the modifiers, let's talk about the passive modifiers. Now, remember, we get one global modifier, so that's Rogue Momentum. In that one global modifier, you get to choose one active modifier to go with it. And then you get to choose 3 passive modifiers. So you can have any of these, but only 3 at a time. So let's talk about the 12 different passive modifiers. First up, we have Explosive Amp. Seeker Mind deals 100% more damage against blacklisted enemies. After that, we have Critical Recovery. Performing a crit hit will restore 5% of your max armor. Critical Momentum. Crit hits will then have a 50% chance to grant 1% momentum. That's pretty big. When you're running a full crit build with 100 rounds in the magazine or 70 rounds in the magazine, what have you, you could get your momentum up really fast using this passive modifier. After that, we have Momentum Surge. Kills with skills double the momentum, which is really good for skill builds. And remember that when you max out your momentum, you get overcharge. So if you do that with a skill build that grants you double the momentum and you're overcharged the entire freaking time, you could stay overcharged the entire time just by getting those skill kills. Really, really fun. I'm telling you, this new season is going to be fun for a lot of people. Not all people, but a lot of people. Most. Explosive Expertise. Explosive kills will reduce the cooldown of that skill by 30% if you score a multi-kill. So for that one, if you throw out like Cluster Seekers and you take out more than one enemy at a time, you can get a 30% cooldown reduction. Pretty cool. After that, we have one of my favorite new passive modifiers. This one is called Reaper Scan. So enemies scanned with a pulse have a 25% chance to receive a blacklist mark. Remember, the blacklisted enemies give you more momentum when you kill them, 30% more than your standard enemies. So if you're running around with a scanner pulse, you could pulse them, make them blacklisted, and then you're good to go. Not only that, but it says scanned with a pulse. Scanned with a pulse also applies to your linked laser pointer. You do not have to run around with a scanner pulse. You can use a linked laser pointer on your weapon and get the same results. After that, we have aggressive drone. This increases the striker drone's damage by 50%, but it reduces its duration by 40%. I think that's a big, big buff. That's a big W, a big win for you skill build users out there. Because we all know that the durations are stupid high, but if you had a chance to lower that duration to get more damage out of it, by all means. Following that, we have Fortified Shield. Now, this will strengthen any equipped shield by 100% of its base health, allowing you to stay in front of it longer. Following that, we have reactive reinforcement, and that will heal 5% of your max armor when your shield takes damage. Following that, we have overclocked projector. The decoy will emit a flash, and that will destroy or deactivate and blind up to 2 enemies targeting it. You will receive a 5% bonus of momentum for each affected hostile. Not my favorite. I don't like it at all. Using a decoy, yeah, but I typically only use a decoy in the dark zone. You don't really need a decoy in PvE. It's really not needed unless you're running solo. I understand maybe, but there's better skills out there. And this one, only blinding up to 2 at a time it's really not worth it. Because then you have something like this. Microwave coils. Microwave coils is another one of my favorite passive modifiers coming out tomorrow. In this one, up to 4 enemies affected by a pulse have a 50% chance to receive a burn. That's right. If you use your linked laser pointer or a scanner pulse, you can burn your enemies just by scanning them. Pretty cool. And finally, for the passive modifiers, we have the rigged battery. Drones that are destroyed or dismantled apply a shock to 2 nearby enemies. Rigged battery and overclocked projector, I don't like either one of them. I highly recommend staying away from those 2. And finally, for the modifiers, we have the hostile modifier, or they call it the hostile countermeasure. Enemies push back against momentum with frenzy. So frenzy will be on the enemies at all times. However, the further you go in the seasonal journey, the harder the enemies will be. So it says right here, enemy frenzy. Enemies gain rate of fire, movement speed, and health/armor regeneration. Not only that, but they scale. So the number of enemies and the amount of rage applied to these enemies scales by the number of chapters you have completed in your seasonal journey. Pretty cool. And they said that they nerfed the hostiles even further from the PTS to now. So it's going to be even easier. That's very good. Following that, we have a big win. Big win. Expanded stash space. Starting tomorrow, you can have another 100 stash space increase. So this season introduces a highly requested feature, expanded stash space, giving you more room to manage growing collections of gear, and there's more to come with additional stash space upgrades. Now this one says 50 extra slots for owning Warlords of New York, and 50 extra slots for owning Year 1 Pass. So if you have Warlords of New York and you have the classified assignments, you're good to go. And this is retroactive, so if you own it or if you have owned it ever, you get that increase. If not, you do have to go purchase it. Next up, we have gear, weapons, and talents. This season introduces 2 new named weapons, several new talents, along with a new gear set and a new brand set. Exotic collectors can look forward to a new exotic SMG, new exotic gloves, and the new exotic backpack. The backpack is hidden behind the climax mission. Ah, okay. So the SMG and the gloves will be from the seasonal pass, but the exotic backpack will be locked behind the climax mission. So let's talk about these. First up, we have the Oxpecker. This is the new exotic MP7, and it comes with the talent Symbiosis. So this one was changed a little bit. So it says here that while having the shield deployed, you will lose shield health at a rate of 10% per second. However, your shield will receive repairs of 25% of the damage you deal by this weapon. Now, the differences here is now they have a plus 10 rounds from the muzzle. So the muzzle gives it plus 10 rounds. That's the change here. So instead of a 40 round magazine, it is now a 50 round magazine. And that's pretty big for this MP7. Next up, we have the new exotic gloves. These are called the Exodus gloves. Here they are right here. Not bad. Some leather gloves. Now it says here, they are different in PvE than PvP, and these gloves will come with a red core attribute and double crit. That is a new change from the PTS to now. So now it will be all red gloves with crit chance. On top of that, it is different for PvE and PvP. So for PvE, on armor break, it will drop a smoke bomb at your feet, concealing yourself for 3 seconds. Now, while you're concealed, you could change builds, you can heal up, all of these things. But the cooldown is 40 seconds. For PvP, so in the Dark Zone and in Conflict, on armor break, it will drop a smoke pellet at your feet, receiving 100% pulse resistance and hiding your name tag for 2 seconds. This is way too low. 2 seconds in PvP, that's laughable for a 40-second cooldown. It's laughable. Like 3 seconds in PvE, I thought was too low, maybe 5 seconds. But for PvP, 2 seconds, like, come on. It's not even worth it. Like, are they playing PvP? After that, we have our new gear set. It's called Refactor. So the 2-piece bonus will give you status effects. The 3-piece bonus will give you skill damage. And then the 4-piece bonus will give you the brand new talent, Return to Cinder. Now, this is really fun. Really fun. But it is different. It's half in PvP than it is in PvE. So in PvE, you receive 10% of the damage you deal by your skills, and your allies will receive 20% healing from the damage you deal by your skills. So if you use a skill build, you can heal yourself and others just by the amount of damage you do from those skills. Now in PvP, that is cut in half, so you will only receive 5% of the damage you deal, and your allies will only repair 10% of the damage you deal. Now with that, we do have a chest piece and backpack. So the chest piece for PvP is going to bring it back to normal, which, hold on, let's see here. This must be a weird, very, very weird typo. So it says that it will go from 5 to 15, but it's starting at 10. So I'm guessing they're meaning 10 to 15. And then from, this one says 20. And this one says 20. So this is definitely a typo. We're not sure what the chess piece does because that's a huge typo. Where for, oh, okay. So I'm guessing that this will be 30 and then this would be maybe 40 because this is 25 and 35. So it's going to be more than what you're seeing in PvP. Because in PvP, it says from 10% to 25 and from 20 to 35. Again, these numbers are different. So this is definitely a typo. Moving on to the shiny monkey. Oh, this is funny. This is where Daria said that this looked like a Batman character. And then they were wondering what Batman character. I said it reminds me of like old Arkham, NPCs from like the old Arkham series. But then Yannick and Daria said it looked like Bane. Either way, kind of funny. Now, the shiny monkey is the new brand set. The 1 piece for the brand set will give you skill duration. The 2-piece bonus will give you 5% skill efficiency, where the 3-piece bonus will give you repair skills of 52%. Now, not only that, we will get a new named backpack and new named knee pads. Now, the new named backpack is called Axle. Using an armor kit will grant you 1 skill tier for 15 seconds, but if you're at skill tier 6, it will grant you overcharge. And the name of that talent is Perfect Energize. Now, for the knee pads, it's a perfect attribute, not a perfect talent. So the knee pads are called Grease, and the perfect attribute is going to be the status effects of 16%. Now, remember, this is going to be a skill brand set, so you're going to get yellow skill tiers for the core attributes, and you get skill duration, skill efficiency, and repair skills. Players can obtain the Refactor gear set through the seasonal caches by progressing through the final 3 chapters of the seasonal journey, or by exploring the open world. It can also be farmed through the targeted loot. Not bad. Additionally, blueprints will be set, and that'll be through the seasonal journey as well. Next up, we have named weapons and the new weapon talent. So the new weapon talent is called Pressure Point, amplifying your weapon damage by 15% to all enemies under a status effect. This was buffed. The perfect talent was 15%, and now the perfect talent is 20%. So this was a 5% buff. So first up, we have the new named RPK called Rusty. This comes with perfect pressure point, amplifying weapon damage by 20% to all enemies under a status effect. And then we have the new named FAL called Goalie. Again, perfect pressure point, amplifying weapon damage by 20% to all enemies under a status effect. Pretty cool. And finally, for the exotics, we have the Birdie's Quick Fix. Now, this exotic backpack, here's the look of it. It's pretty cool. It has like a little droid head right here. It'll move and rotate. Pretty cool. But the new exotic backpack will be locked behind the new Master Climax mission. So it says here that successfully completing the Master Climax mission for the first time will guarantee the new exotic backpack. The new exotic backpack is called Birdie's Quick Fix. This can drop as a reward from any difficulty, but with higher difficulties offer better chances. There is no requirement to complete the Master Climax mission first to unlock this. However, lower difficulties will reduce those drop chances. Okay, interesting. So it says interesting. There are no requirements to completing the Master Climax mission first to unlock the chance. Okay, so as soon as you unlock the Climax mission, you'll be able to do Master difficulty. But if you do it on the lower difficulties, you'll have a reduced drop chance. But on Master difficulty, it will be guaranteed. Okay. Now, the Birdie's Quick Fix exotic backpack will give you revive speed of 50%. However, you will have a weakened debuff time extended. This will also provide 50% damage resistance to both you and the person you're reviving, as well as 5 seconds after the successful revival. Also, if you revive them, you get +1 skill tier for 30 seconds, and that will give you an overcharge if you're already skill tier 6. Note, they did improve it. They made a functionality change to improve it with the Revive Hive. So if you get picked up with a Revive Hive using this backpack, you still get all of these bonuses. Very cool. Next up, we have reworks and updates. This is for the exotic weapons. Unchanged weapons. We have the Ouroboros, Strega, Chameleon, Bullet King, Ravenous, and Diamondback. None of those will be changed. However, everything else will be changed. Let's see here. Do I see the Scorpio? I'm looking for my buddy Sergeant Graybeard. Where's shotguns? Nope, not even on here. Okay. Let's go back to the exotics right here. So it said unchanged Ouroboros, Strega, Chameleon, Bullet King, Ravenous, Diamondback. But there's no Scorpio here. Yeah, no Scorpio. I'm sorry, Sergeant Graybeard. They are not changing the Scorpio. My bad. But as far as the balancing, all they did was make all of these reload speeds faster, except for the Ouroboros, Strega, Chameleon, Bullet King, Ravenous, Diamondback, and Scorpio. Unchanged for the ARs is the FAL. However, the Lexington is getting a little nerf, and everything is getting a reload speed buff. For SMGs, everything is getting a reload speed buff, except for the Vector and the Slayer. For LMGs, the L86 was not touched. However, all the other LMGs got a faster reload speed. For the rifles, the M1A variants and the 1886 was not touched. However, everything got a reload speed buff, excluding the lightweight M4. However, the lightweight M4 got a big buff, as well as the UIC and the MK47. And then finally, for the balancing changes, we have the pistols. The M45A1 did not get touched. However, everything else did get a reload speed buff to go along with it. Very cool. Quality of life changes. Here we go. Active modifiers will now trigger without the use of ADS, so you don't have to aim your weapon to trigger the active modifier. Modifiers have been removed from the priority objectives, and now they are only available as a reward through the seasonal journey. And finally, you will have a clearer visibility of active modifiers' duration and cooldown. It'll show you a little bar as it's getting ready and as it's doing its cooldown. Pretty cool. Next up, we have progress. Ooh, what the fuck? Hold on. Yo, they just made scavenging points even better? What? Scavenging points rewarded on the watch have been rebalanced to ensure a consistent resource per point ratio. They just made it even better. You get more credits, more ceramics, more polycarbonate, more everything. Oh, except for shade calibration and field recon. But you're getting 50% more printer filament from 10 to 15. This is big. This is really big. Especially for mules. What? That's such a good change. Oh, man. That is a great change. Woohoo! All right, let's go back up here. Progression and objective changes. Players will receive a 10% seasonal pass progression boost for using seasonal modifiers. That's big. This bonus will also stack with additional progression boost systems through the seasonal pass premium owners, and it will help you level up faster. Seasonal Pass XP is now available as a reward for completing in-game activities, missions, countdown, conflict, descent, summit, open world activities, and DZ landmarks. Rewards are granted upon completing these, and it's not for individual eliminations. Warhound convoys, elite resource convoys, and elite territory controls have all been removed from the priority objectives, and the priority objectives reroll bars are now automatically refilled to 3 times every 24 hours. The refill, you only get 3 to refill every 24 hours, so that's 1 reroll every 8 hours. Okay. Why is it? There we go. The scavenging point changes, huge. Huge. That's such a big, huge. Big, huge change. All right, Seasonal Pass. The optional Seasonal Pass is available for all Division 2 players starting at level 1, priced at 1,000 premium credits or $10. This is in-game store, and this does not require the ownership of Woni. While the Season Pass is accessible to level 1, some of the rewards will not be available until you hit level 30, or level 40, my bad. Whoa. Additionally, players can opt for the Premium Plus Edition for $30, and this will give you more rewards at a better value. Okay. Now, with the seasonal pass, you will get 10 gear dies, 9 weapon skins, 2 outfits, and 2 prestige arm patches. However, players can earn 600 premium credits by progressing through the seasonal pass on the premium track. So the premium track will give you 600 premium credits. Now, the free track will only include 1 outfit and 1 weapon skin, allowing all the agents to stand out in the streets of DC. So all of this, the 10 gear dies, 9 weapon skins, 2 outfits, 2 arm patches, and the 600 premium credits, that's all through the premium track, where the normal track will be 1 outfit, 1 weapon skin. Additionally, we now have a one-time offer with a new helmet. This says, don't miss out on the exclusive one-time offer available at $20. It includes 2,000 premium credits plus an additional 600 premium credits. On top of that, you'll get a rare clawed helmet because standing out in chaos is just as important as surviving it. All right. That's the brief completed and intel shared for all events and content that we have coming tomorrow with Year 6 Season 3, Burden of Truth. You can also track some of the top level investigations being conducted by the team over at the Known Issues board. Okay, well, let's click the Known Issues board. Let's see what's new over there. The Known Issues board does not have the patch notes. And then the 3 categories that we typically look at over here on the Known Issues board: reported, investigating, and in progress. Reported is the exact same. Nothing has been changed. Investigating is the exact same. Nothing has been changed. And in progress, again, nothing has been changed. So they just said stay up to date with the known issues, but the known issues have not been updated, at least not lately. All right. And that is it, my dear agents, for all of the patch notes coming with the new season starting tomorrow. Year 6, Season 3, Burden of Truth. I am Kamikazevondoom. For all of this information and more, you can check it out on my Twitter page, X if you're nasty, before I make a YouTube video. Thank you for watching this. If you found it helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, please hit the thumbs up, support the channel by subscribing. I do daily Division content, so ring that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single Division upload. But that's it for me. Again, I'm Kamikazevondoom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.